All right, and let's get into this game now. You guys have heard enough of us talk about anything else. Backspace versus Elefante.
Yep, and straight away, Bomb Lobber already in Backspace's hand.
Oh, yeah.
This is the card. It's just one of his favorite cards, and personally, it's one of my favorite ones too. It's just so good. This card has an RNG element on it, but it's like it's easy to control that. Like if your opponent's only got 1 minion out, it's always hitting that minion.
That's very true. That's some good math right there. And we are going to see Elefante going to be playing the Priest, so it will be interesting to see how this is going to work out for him. Both players just taking their time, thinking about, actually no, just thinking about the mulligan right now. Backspace actually taking a lot of time thinking about the mulligan here.
It's kind of an interesting spot. I'm curious if he's really considering keeping like Lotheb in his hand.
Okay, just keeps the Bomb Lobber.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing Coghammer, really strong addition card near like 4 GVG.
For sure. Or really, now it's a really strong opener from Backspace, picking up Muster for Battle and Mind Control straight in the hand for Elefante. Two very end of the spectrum cards.
Did Elefante
being drawn early on?
He just passed on turn 1 and turn 2 Northshire Cleric.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think you're in like a rush to play this card. With Wild Pyromancer and Circle of Healing, I think he's probably got bigger plans in mind for that.
Okay.
For that Northshire Cleric, it's a pretty heads-up play, I think.
Interesting. So we will see exactly what he decides to do here then. If he's going to still decide to hold on to it. I mean, turn 1 Northshire Cleric is honestly really nice though, and it's like one of the things that about playing against Paladin kind of makes him hesitant to be able to use those hero powers and stuff. And it's like now, obviously, if he does drop it now, it's kind of playing into the Coghammer. But we're going to see what is going to go down here. Looks like that's just going to be an easy cleanup with the Coghammer.
Yeah, I'm curious. It looks to me like it's going to be
Muster
for Battle. Because you just saw Wild Pyromancer.
Even better, yeah.
Like this is one of the nightmare cards I think you're worried about.
Yeah.
Wild Pyromancer. And so the fact that it's out of the way now, these tokens are very often going to be safe on the board.
Yeah. Moving forward here.
Ysera in hand too. Wow, this is a really top-heavy Priest deck that's being played.
Yeah, no kidding. He has the Mind Control in hand and stuff. I think he's really going to be kicking himself for not dropping the Northshire Cleric early now, man. I mean, this is like, had he dropped the turn 1 Northshire Cleric, he would have guaranteed at least got some sort of value out of it. Now it's like, it feels like he's already falling so far behind. A second Muster for Battle in hand. He's just going to coin out the Sledge Belcher, of course.
No, he's going to coin out the Bomb Lobber for sure.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
No minions to hit. Perfect turn for it.
Of course, yeah. I'm so used to thinking of Blast Mage.
just 4 damage to the
yeah,
face.
of course, man.
No better deal than hitting the same target 4 times.
No better deal. Especially if it's like an Azure Drake or something. Pretty good deal.
Have you done that yet, by the way? Have you hit like a 4 health minion?
Yeah, I have.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's like sometimes you just don't have another play, right? So you just go with it.
Yeah, it's just a 5/4.
Exactly. And the other thing is, especially if you have like a hero power to follow it up, or you have like a 1/1 and the hero power, you have some other ways to clean things up. You're not expecting to get the 4 damage hit.
Every time it's happened so far, just right click sorry. The rest of the game. I feel so
I just
bad
give
when
him
it
a thanks,
happens.
man. That's my only emote.
Thanks.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're just the hunter guy?
Yeah. That's me. And Bomb Lobber here, like this is the value that we talked about.
Yeah.
This is a guaranteed kill. It's a free cleanup. So nice.
There's just really not much more you could possibly be asking for in this card.
And I mean, this is one of the things that we were talking about, like with priests. Is if you don't have that early board control, it's like it's not very forgiving. And the thing is, it's like having just kind of dropped that that pyro, into an empty board just for the minion. I really feel like that was a big mistake.
Certainly adding up to 1 at this point. And
yeah.
I mean, gosh, where do you go from here? I mean, this feels like a fine turn to just play Sylvanas, I think.
Yeah. Certainly could be.
You gotta figure out a way to get this light game, but man, this damage is adding up. Like,
yeah.
You gotta be terrified of Quartermaster.
Especially, that's what I was gonna say. If a Quartermaster gets drawn, it's just gross. And I feel like, honestly, at this point, you could just Peacekeeper and just ignore that and just keep going face.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's gonna do too.
And I think it's such a good play because it's like, how are you ever, it's so slow. And the only way to kill it off then, of course, in case we see something else, it could change, but is attacking twice in a Sledge Belter, and by the time you get 2 turns into that, it's like so much damage you're going to be taking.
He looks like he is going to go with Peacekeeper here, and I imagine it's going to be toking. I mean, I think.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Would not have expected that.
That's really surprising.
I thought he was going to continue to go face. I mean, this actually gives him a chance to steal something good. Obviously, it's not the highest chance, but well, okay, it's going to work out. So it does end up being nice, but I feel like just continuing to go face would have been kind of fine there.
I think it's fine. Something else you want to do though is you want to consider, how Priest actually stabilizes the board.
Yeah.
And so, let's say he silences his own Sylvanas or something, and then attacks your Sludge Belcher. Like potentially, that's something you could end up losing out on.
Yeah.
I don't know if the damage is too important to him at this point.
Yeah.
Also,
true.
you might just want to get to development.
Just make sure he has that.
Wow, Alkanai Soul Priest picked up with Circle of Healing now.
Oof. Feeling very nice. I mean, you can hero power off the shield and get a full clear.
Wow, really big turn here for Elefante.
Yeah, huge. Damn, brutal.
If he can stabilize this board position, I think he's in pretty good shape. But oh my gosh, Blood Knight gets picked up along
Plus
with
the
that shield
mini
and
bot, yeah.
Wow, that looks like a really big turn. Coghammer just going to take out this 3-1. And then once again, just another huge board presence that Elefante is going to have to stare down.
Yeah, he doesn't have any silence or anything in hand really.
Yeah, his hand's
to deal with
really
it.
heavy at this moment.
If you could draw like a Cabal, like two Stringmaster Cabal. Ooh.
Well, man, you're just.
But it's not it's not enough right here, obviously. Still too high attack value. Still, I feel like maybe just have to steal the 2/2. You could obviously just drop your Belcher and hope for a better play later.
Do you want to steal the 2/2 or the 1/2 taunt?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like with he has the Coghammer still equipped, right? So it's just like
either one of them is just gonna die.
Yeah, probably rather have extra point of damage. I think because you could also just trade in the 2/2 to the 1/2, whereas you can't do the opposite.
Nice. Looks like he's gonna go Sludge Belcher here instead.
Okay.
And so I'm pretty concerned about his life total.
Yeah.
I can't really blame him either. Noyatron picked up. I don't really know. It actually feels like it could potentially be a liability right now too, given the fact that well, he's just gonna go with Tyrion. All right, so wasting no time.
Yeah.
He's gonna put his faith in the light. Hope things work out for him.
I was gonna say it could have been pretty nice if he actually delayed the Tyrion and could have got mind control. It could have been a really big swing turn, but not gonna have the ability to do that. And I mean, these are turns like, imagine if he still had his Pyro. If he kept his Pyro for a more valuable turn, like Holy Smite plus Pyro would deal with the Blood Knight, things like that, or where you start to kind of get those turnarounds that we talked about with the Priest. He's gonna steal the taunt up. It looks like take out the 2/2.
He's facing down 17 points of damage, so Backspace actually one off lethal here.
Well, if he doesn't decide to trade, he can mind control up Tyrion, and that's where something perhaps could happen. And I think, with the Consecrate going down, I think he is just, we'll see.
Man, it's really tough to knock out for face here. This is so much damage.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm Backspace, I'm hoping he trades the Blood Knight into the Cabal and stuff like that, just like praying, and then he can mind control. I mean, he's going to trade something, so that's, it's not the worst. And I think, the play has to be then mind controlling that Tyrion. The question is just, will it be enough to keep him alive? And I'm not sure it will be, because he does have the Peacekeeper and everything still available. And it doesn't allow him to heal,
The Buster for Battle is sort of the bigger story of this, because let's say he's going to mind control his Tyrion here. Yeah, that's going to do it, because now his Blood Knight's just going to run into Tyrion after this Buster for Battle weapon, and then 4 points of damage from Pilot Shredder. So that's going to end game 1 here, and perhaps a little bit of a misstep early, dropping that Wild Pyromancer, and really sacrificing a lot. Backspace was able to snowball that into a really fantastic board position for pretty much the entirety of the game after that.
I really felt like he should have just dropped the turn 1 Cleric, held on to that. I mean, I feel like he could have maybe gotten like at least one early draw off that. All right, so it's going to be Hunter here for Elefante against Backspace, and
we saw on his sheet actually a Beast Hunter was his favorite deck type to play. So not a surprise to see Call Pet in here.
Yeah.
And sort of kind of going for that notion, and he's going to hang on to this Call Pet.
yeah. To me, Call Pet is like it's like a worse unstable portal, you know? Because the thing is, it only gives you the reduction if you got a beast.
See, I disagree with you. I think it's better than unstable portal.
Really?
The problem with it right now is that there's not a lot of consistent beasts to go with it.
Yeah.
If he goes turn 1 coin, call pet into Savannah Highmane, which
Yeah.
he's always going to have 2 copies of in his deck,
Yeah.
think about how often you're going to get something like Savannah Highmane off of unstable portal versus how often you'll get it if you're just playing a bunch of copies
That's
of
true,
important
but
beasts in your deck.
the way that I see it is that with unstable portal, you're spending 2 mana, but it's reducing the cost by 3. So it's like you really like even the bad draws from unstable portal really aren't that bad. Whereas I mean, it's like
there's a lot of average draws.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's hard for that card to just be horrible to me. Whereas like call pet seems like I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really personally seen it pay off very
We're
often.
really split opinions on this because I'm
Yeah.
kind of feeling the opposite. I feel like when unstable portal is really bad for you, it's really bad for you. And when call pet's really bad for you, it's because you just drew a regular card.
Yeah, I guess.
So like right here, it just drew him a card. So not a lot of value from it. But when unstable portal picks you up a captain's parrot, you're pretty salty about it because now you have a captain's parrot in your hand instead of 1 card deeper into your deck. Because call pet is at the end of the day, it's always thinning out your deck.
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I just feel like even if an unstable portal say gives you like an Annoyotron or like a Mech Warper or whatever, these are like pretty like draws that people would maybe complain about, but I just don't see it as that bad. But either way,
Now he's picked up my Exnet from his web spinner, so
yeah, that's something.
yeah, two effects that are pretty important. Actually, my Exnet feels like it's really good versus Paladin. Paladin, one of the ways it deals with kind of over budgeted minions is that it reduces their power to 1.
I would have liked to see him do the tracking before he dropped that web spinner if he was going to do it, but maybe not going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for him to find a 2-drop that he's probably playing over Haunted Creeper, honestly. And so at this point, it looks like Backspace is starting to begin his stabilizing. Shielded Minibot not getting the best value so far, but I think when he sees Call Pet, he's probably a little bit unfamiliar with this deck list, and so he's going to choose to take a safe route for probably the majority of the game.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Interesting to see Starving Buzzard in there as well. Not something that you see.
Yeah,
that
I think
often
this
anymore.
beast density that he has, so stuff like
Makes
Tundra Rhino,
sense, yeah.
it's because he wants to get a good Call Pet. I mean, if you Call Pet up a Tundra Rhino suddenly has become a very good card.
Yeah, Tundra Rhino is extremely strong, especially if you can get the turn 5 Tundra Rhino into Savannah Highmane. Things like that can be extremely powerful.
And if that Tundra Rhino costs 1 mana, now you have a turn 7. Tundra Rhino and Savannah Highmane.
There you go.
It's a pretty big turn.
It is a pretty big turn. Doesn't look like he has a lot of nice answers though to this piloted Shredder, and he's kind of thinking over the kill command, and it's looking like that's going to have to be the answer.
When I look at this deck list and I look at kill command being played here,
Ooh.
it doesn't strike me as that big of a liability because he's not relying on the kill command to deal damage. It's a removal spell in this deck.
Yep.
I mean, his deck, you just look at it, its intent is to scale into the mid and late game and hope to get the job done there. And then, of course, Backspace, as we've seen so far, he's going to choose to play really safe, even though it's just a Haunted Creeper.
Yeah.
He wants to try to prevent anything crazy from happening. He wants to have control of the board going into that turn.
Yep. So the Mistress of Pain going to be summoned up from the from the Shredder. Not too bad.
Now he just needs to get Knock Eye Soul Priest.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Die instantly from the Mistress of Pain
Yeah.
dealing any damage.
Yeah.
The reactions, have you seen the reaction videos of people doing that
No.
and that happening?
No.
And the Mistress just keeps dealing him 1 damage over and over again because the Akonai Soul
It
Priest
just
is
never
out.
stops. or something, or-
Right, because it deals you damage, so it
Yeah.
gains your life. But your
Yeah.
heal effects
Oh god. Oh.
damage you instead. So it just
goes.
you just die. And like so
from
people's
one
reactions
hit.
to it
Wow.
are like they slowly start to
Start to
realize what's
sink in,
happening.
yeah. That's horrible, man. So I think we're going to see the Glaive Zuka come out here.
Well, you could also see Scavenging Hyena.
Yeah.
I think both of
Yeah.
those are pretty reasonable options. I actually would prefer to
Okay.
see the Scavenging Hyena.
Yeah.
It looks to me like with the way his hand is weighted, he wants to get the ball rolling, and he
Yeah.
wants to get stuff like.
Unfortunately, Owl is sitting in.
Yeah,
hand.
I mean, he wants to get this kind of stuff out of the way and hope that it really works. So, he's going to a little bit of a rude away. He's also got Big Game Hunter here, so it's probably
Yeah.
actually a little bit of a better option, I think,
Yeah.
at this point. He's actually got a beast in his sights too. How often does that happen?
Not too often,
Yep.
man.
Slowly whittling away the life total of Elefante.
Yep.
You got to go with my Exne here, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty reasonable. I mean, I guess there's Tundra Rhino, Coin, Glaive Zuka as well, which wouldn't be the worst. You could take out the Big Game Hunter and stuff and have something down on the board. I mean, it's not. I can understand that play as well. It looks like he might be what he's going for.
All right, so he's going to hope this ends up living for a turn. Go from there. Glaive Zuka. This is a card I'm really torn on. Like, sometimes it feels so much better than Eagle Horn Bow.
Yeah.
And at other times, I feel like I'm just like, why am I playing this right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's just if it gives you that extra damage to get a good trade. That's usually when it's like big value comes in. Like sometimes you'll see that, yeah, exactly. It's like that comes out and it buffs up like a web spinner or something that allows it to trade into a minion it otherwise wouldn't have been able to kill. And that can really swing the game, especially I think in some of those kind of more death rattle-y hunters, you know, like Undertaker and like a lot of the super early minions, giving the one extra damage to a leper gnome or whatever can actually make a big difference. There's like a lot of 2/3s and stuff that you wouldn't otherwise be able to take out.
It picks up another Tundra Rhino here. I still think you should have gone my X last turn. I think my X is like one of the biggest threats you can oppose to your opponent's board.
Yeah.
And it would have gotten taken out with True Silver Champion. Maybe that's something he was trying to fish out of his opponent first, but at the same time take out the big game hunter. Which is all these turns feel like they're tough to me.
Yeah, I agree. You can clear up the Mistress of Pain. That's something.
Give your opponent 2 extra health when you do that, though.
Yeah. Like you said, though, I don't really think he's too concerned about the health totals, especially when he's at 28. I mean, you just have to stabilize somehow. Still, though, I mean, there's such easy answers. It's like the answers to both those minions are already sitting there, facing you up. So, something not
really
a great
starting to
position.
run low on cards right now. Tyrion, this is going to be a big hurt right now.
Yeah.
Elefante has no answer to this. Iron Beagal's got to be in this deck list. Kodo, not going to be it.
Yeah, and makes correct me if I'm wrong, but that doesn't actually work through the Div Shield.
No, the Divine Shield prevents the damage.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't actually do anything, even though it would otherwise. I mean, we know there's another True Silver Champion in hand as well, so it's not like he's going to be able to get like 2 hits at it to be able to poke through. The thing is with Tyrion, it's such a powerful card because even if you kill it off, you're giving him like 15 damage from weapons. So it's just like it's so
it stings
strong.
a little bit, Birch.
Especially when you're sitting at 20 HP. I mean, it's like it's gonna whack you in the face. He can just honestly go like True Silver Champion again and like I mean, you can just start hitting face at this point.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to hit face with it, but it wouldn't surprise me. Oh, he's going to hit face.
Yeah, I think it's totally fine. I mean, it's like, you're putting your opponent at 10 HP. He has almost no cards in hands. He's shown that he doesn't have an answer to Tyrion.
Yeah.
Where's the win? There's not a win, you know?
You make a really strong argument there.
Yeah.
It's tough to argue with that one.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
right, so there's potentially a Buzzard Unleash here. So maybe he's got like Hunter's Mark or something in this deck.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he's working with.
Either way, though, he's still at 10
Yeah,
HP. He's True Silver. Plus, you're giving him the death rattle, even if you can kill it. It's not how can he survive. It's how can he win. And I don't see it. So we'll see what the draws are. Houndmaster not going to help, and
Highman's
not
not
going
going
to
to
help
help
either.
either.
So that is going to be that for game number 2.
Yep.
Elefante going to concede, and he's down 2 games now here against Backspace, who so far has shown our amateur player.
Over and dominates so many of these games. And with Handlock, I think against Paladin is something he was trying to avoid because he doesn't want to see Eldor Peacekeepers. He doesn't want to see Equalities.
Yeah.
He's seen a big game hunter already, that sort of stuff. So this is mostly going to see if he can kind of fade those potential threats and get the ball rolling. He could really easily turn this series around because I imagine Backspace probably doesn't have too many decks that are equipped, dedicated just to be Handlock.
Yeah. It's true, but it is a tall order here, I think.
Especially with his hand. He's got no Giants. He's got no Twilight Drake. Doesn't have a Sludge Belcher. Doesn't have a
Has another
Sylvanas
couple
or
of
anything.
chances to draw that before he has to play, so we'll see if he's going to be able to get that. Hopefully for his sake he will. Otherwise, I think times are going to be tough for Elefante.
Have you seen the Annoyatron on Twitter?
Yeah, you showed me. Yeah,
it's one of the
hello, or whatever. Yeah.
So good.
Every tweet is just that. Yeah.
When that card kind of first came out,
there we go.
I looked at it and I was like, man, this card seems really annoying. But then, like, once you started playing against it,
It's
like
really annoying.
well, no, I don't think so. I
No?
think he's kind of endearing.
No, okay.
Yeah. Just really annoying. Such a positive outlook.
You literally said you thought it was annoying, and then I agreed, and then you're like, wow, you're terrible.
No, that's not what I said. Don't twist my words around. All right, so he's got options for Mountain Giant or Twilight Drake here, actually.
I like the Drake more.
Did he see Iron Beak Owl in any of these two previous games? Okay, so he knows there's a threat for both of these.
Yeah.
Wow, what a rough spot to be in.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, both of them can be answered very easily. There's Equality, there's Iron Beak. He has all the answers right now in his hand, and it's like, you're feeling pretty good. That's like you're playing Shaman and you have a Hex and an Earth Shock and on turn 4 against a Handlock. You know, when you're sitting in that kind of a position, feels sometimes unbeatable.
Yeah. Standing on a pretty big board presence, too.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you could draw into Taskmaster, or what is it called? Turn 5.
You know, this is actually something that I was just about to mention is the potential to develop this Ancient Watcher.
Mm.
You know, pay a few points of life, continue to life tap.
Pretty smart.
Hope that you can overwhelm your opponent at a certain point in the game. This is actually like a really, really heads up play.
Yeah, it was actually really
wow,
intelligent.
Blood Knight gets drawn.
Oh my god.
And I don't know if there's a better draw in the deck than that right now.
No, I don't think so. And Blood Knight is really strong in Paladin decks. I was playing a similar deck to this with just one Blood Knight in there, and it can be. There's so many different dish shields that you can get, and I mean it's like it's not like a big risk putting it in there. You know, it's just a 3-cost minion. It's not the worst thing in the world, even if you have to play it without that battle cry.
Yeah, definitely some potentially some really big plays with that guy. You know, especially if you have Argent Squire in a deck like this. I don't know I don't think Backspace actually has Argent Squire, but you know, Hosty in the Kingwin tournament, he was playing 2 copies of Blood Knight and he was playing 2 Argent Squires to go along with the other Divine Shields. He was making 9/9 Blood Knights.
What do you think about? Often. What do you think about just? I don't know. I mean, it's like I almost feel like you have to like Hellfire here because if you taunt it up, then you're not gonna be able to Shadow Flame. But I don't know. You're putting yourself in a position where you're gonna take so much damage. It just doesn't seem like there's really a nice play here. And it is gonna be the Hellfire, but I mean that's gonna put him so low.
Yeah, I think he's okay with going.
I think it was the right choice.
There's 2 copies of Blood Knight in here, by the way, so that wasn't like a single Blood Knight they got drawn. But you know, as you were saying, like he is gonna go low here. But we saw Nyria earlier. He wanted to go low. He had 2 Molten Giants in his hand. He was looking for a big swing turn. The way that this game has panned out, Elefante took the risk of trying to overwhelm his opponent with card advantage. Got punished with a Blood Knight off the top.
And I mean, he has the answers to everything. Now he has a Bomb Lover to answer this, and he still has, he has the Iron Beak if a Drake gets dropped. He has Equality. He has literally every answer he could need. And it's just, I mean, I actually think Elefante has made some really intelligent plays this game. I think that, developing the Ancient Watcher was really smart, like you said. I actually respect the Hellfire there as well. But, he's playing for the win. But so far, all the answers have been in the hand of Backspace.
It wouldn't surprise me to see a deliberate non-attack here either. You're already putting your opponent down to 11. So I don't think it's unreasonable to go ahead and hold this back. He does threaten lethal next turn with what's in his hand.
He's going to go for it, looks like.
Wow.
Definitely thinking about it. Maybe a little bit of the disrespect to Elefante.
Yeah, I don't. Yep, I think I agree with the deliberate non-attack here.
Yeah, I
but,
agree.
Certainly a tough spot. But yeah, as you were saying, I think Elefante actually he played this game really on point, understanding he had to take that risk here.
Yeah, I think he just really.
Yeah, I think he's just going to Dark Bomb here. Take it out of the 6-3 for it.
Yep, that's pretty reasonable.
All right, so this could be the start of sort of a recovery turn. Backspace he's playing with 1 card a turn versus potentially 2 cards a turn.
Unfortunately, the Drake going to be answered very easily for him. Does still have Ancient Watcher, Shadow Flame. He has an Alex Straza, which is an interesting addition to the deck. So he does have some pretty powerful cards in there. We'll see. But with Owler Peacekeeper coming out, that's another answer to a giant. He has Equality and Owler Peacekeeper that answers 2 giants alone.
Still thinking about not attacking here too, and I think.
Yeah, he doesn't really have the way to finish them off right away. He has a lot of answers, so why go for it? But he's thinking about it. And if he attacks with 1, I wouldn't be surprised to see him True Silver up.
With the fact that you got disrupted so heavily, I think it makes a lot of sense to start attacking. But if you're going to play the Sludge Belcher, it works against that because his plan looking for attacking was to use Equality. Yeah. So when he chooses to use the Sludge Belcher here, the Equality is doing so much damage to your own Sludge Belcher, it's probably a trade you want to try to avoid sometimes.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense. So, once again, he still does have Ancient Watcher, Shadow Flame, but it doesn't really answer too well. And I think it's probably just going to be a giant coming down, but unfortunately, there's more answers in store for that.
Do you taunt up this giant if you play it, or do you wait? Do you save the Sun Fury? Do you think for Molten turn?
I think you save for the Molten turn, because I mean I think that there's just so many answers in the Paladin deck. You're kind of like hoping that you can get through most of them before you have that taunt up, because it's like if you taunt it up and then you have to play Moltens without activators, they're not really going to be that useful. I think at that point.
So you just go with the Ancient Watcher here as well, then.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, taunting it up is completely reasonable as well.
Yeah. I mean, you do have to think about your own life total at the end of it, too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this is once again kind of more playing for the win, because I think there's a lot of ways that your opponent's still going to have to answer. And oh my God, Black
Knight is actually in this Paladin deck as well.
This is like really well built deck to deal with what he's facing. And I mean, does he just go face at this point because he has so many answers to get through on the next turns? You know?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, this is going to put your opponent to 4.
Yeah, I feel like he just goes face, and then he has Black Knight. If something gets taunted up, he has equality. You know, with the Owl to be able to take something out as well. I mean, he's going to have enough mana for both of those. So if one minion is left on the board, plus the Black Knight, you know, he's going to have lethal with a weapon charge.
Yeah, he's actually just going to go and use Eldor Peacekeeper here too.
Okay.
To prevent Shadow Flame shenanigans.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that won't really actually prevent anything because.
Oh, he's actually going to kill the Mountain Giant.
What? I'm pretty surprised by that. It wouldn't have actually prevented anything anyway, because he could have attacked in with that and then Shadow Flame the Ancient Watcher, right? That would have been 4 across the board and killed everything.
It does force him to use the Ancient Watcher that way, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm really surprised that he killed that off.
I'm pretty surprised by that too, but you know, a lot of it could just be the fact that he wants to prevent 2 taunts, or maybe give the illusion that he doesn't have Black Knight in his hand. Like maybe if you taunt up, I don't have a way to deal with it.
Well, Shadow Flame going to be a pretty big value Shadow Flame there. And
pretty tough to get more than that out of it.
Kicking himself a little bit for not going face now. Because now it's like you have such a dead turn. Like, you know.
Yeah, a little surprised. I'm still pretty
I think that was
surprised
a
by
mistake.
that attack. Yeah, I think that was a lot of damage wasted.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was actually.
You know, something else he's concerned with,
that could actually lose him the game.
Is he's concerned a lot about it getting silenced also. Like if he can silence off the Eldor Peacekeeper debuff on it. Yeah. And he's back to an 8/8. So.
Yeah, but I still feel like, even so, you know, Shadow Flaming the Ancient Watcher isn't bad, and you're not really removing the threat of that. Like, even though he traded everything in, the Shadow Flame threat was still there, so I don't know. I don't really understand that. And now he goes face with the weapon, so it's like, Could be, does he Soul Siphon here?
Yeah, I don't know if he does, honestly. I think that taunting these up and life tapping, I think, is totally reasonable. You have Alex Rouser in your hand, so you know you want to start making use of your life total while you can.
Yeah. Well, we know the 9/9 is going to be Black Knighted.
Well, I don't know. I think
Almost.
equality is a pretty reasonable option.
That's true. That's very true, actually. You know, my mistake was discounting that.
There's actually 1 damage off lethal with this position. Quartermaster, wow, really close to being enough. But this is a big threat that Elefante is going to have to face down now. Yeah.
Ouch.
Backspace knows that was his only Molten Giant, because I think he would have anticipated playing 2 more. Or playing the second one, rather.
Yeah, and the brutal thing is, even if he taunts up here, the Black Knight is still in hand, so you know, definitely a much more heads-up play.
Yeah, I'm going to have to Alex Oz himself, no question about that.
Well, back to 15. Only 5 damage showing on the board. His opponent is starting to run low on those cards.
Consecrate. This Quartermaster is going to get so much value now.
Oh, brutal.
Wow, so much getting gained from this Quartermaster.
Yeah.
9 points of damage. Elefante's back down to 6 now after that. And Siphon Soul doesn't really get the job done here. 2 Sludge Belchers might.
Double Belcher. Yeah, I think Double Belcher has to be the play here. Double Belcher, and do you think you just kill off one of the 3/3s?
Yeah, I think you have to. Okay, so there's 2 different ways to go. The first one is you could kind of throw caution to the wind
and just go
start attacking, but he has Recombobulator in his hand, so he's able to get pretty significant value out of this Alex Raza. Like if he gets another attack next turn, then we can Recombobulator it. He's going to get a kind of a random 9. Instead, Big Game Hunter gets drawn.
Wow, what a draw! Big Game Hunter plus he has Black Knight. Wait, can he actually kill him with Concentration? Let's see, Concentration, and then he can do 2 3/3s, and then he has to get through those, so he still wouldn't be able to.
A little too much.
Consecrate is still very nice.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Black Knight here. But I don't think you're really disappointed.
No, of course not.
With a turn like this.
No, anytime you can get a Black Knight off your thing. Oh, so he's actually not going to big game hunter here. If he gets Consecrate.
Oh, this is lethal because he can Black Knight and then Consecrate afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it is.
Really good job. We actually missed that, but it's, I'd much rather miss it while I'm casting than while I'm playing. So, Backspace, he's going to take this series 3-0. This Paladin deck just absolutely shredding apart everything Elefante